Well, hello and welcome to Understand Men Now. I'm Jonathan Aslay of jonathanAslay.com, and I'm so excited to be shooting this short video for you today. Our topic, we're going to talk about the three stages men need to fully commit to love. Or commit to you. Before we begin, if this content resonates with you and you feel like you're ready to take that next step and you want to schedule a discovery call with me, check out the link below to schedule a one-on-one session with me to see if coaching works for you. All right, let's talk about those three stages. All right, I'm just kind of excited right now. Let's be real with one another for a second, because in the dating process, we human beings are driven by biology. We are driven by chemistry. We're driven by the chemical drip. And what I mean by chemical drip is when we feel really connected with another human being, brain chemicals are released in our brain that go out throughout our body. Chemicals like testosterone and estrogen and oxytocin and dopamine, the love drug, the lust drug, if you will. So the first stage is we step into that place of lust. And honestly, whether it's man or woman, but mostly men, because we're driven from that biological perspective of we need to spread our seed, we need to be excited to get the erection going and that sort of thing. We are highly driven by lust in the early stages. And that's certainly true for men. Men who are more emotionally mature and emotionally grown up aren't necessarily highly focused on that, but for the vast majority of men, we're driven that way. I mean, when we get excited about someone, we want to see them. I mean, you hear this time and time again. We go from point A to point B to point C, and when we like a girl, we're going to put effort into it. And there's no doubt about it, we're going to do that. The high quality man is also looking for a woman who puts in effort as well. I just want to be clear. But that first stage is actually just lust driven. It's limerence driven. It's driven by our biology. And that's just a natural phase of getting to commitment. And so the next phase two, or stage, if you will, is building trust with one another, And this is where a lot of people fail in relationships. This is where there's a lot of struggle in building trust. Now, at first, it starts off with things like familiarity, I kind of repeat myself sometimes, but you like sushi? Me too. You like snowboarding? My favorite thing to do. Or paddleboarding, let's go with that one, because I live at the beach. Or you like Tears for Fears? My favorite band. Actually, it's not my favorite band. My favorite band happens to be Joe Jackson. I'm a big Joe Jackson fan, going back to the Look Sharp album in 1979. But anyway, so for those women who like Joe Jackson, woohoo. But building trust first starts off with familiarity, but then trust is built over time, doing activities together, shared activities, hobbies, mutual interest. Start investing into each other's lives by supporting one another. That's what builds trust. Is being there for your partner. It's saying, hey, I need a ride to the airport. Will you take me? Absolutely. You're my partner and I can count on you. And it takes time to build trust. In fact, this is the stage where most relationships suffer, is that they just haven't built that level of trust. And it's not just physical trust, it's emotional trust. Can I trust my feelings with this other person? And ladies, you know this because your greatest fear is centered around feeling safe to be vulnerable with a man. And just like women, we men need to feel safe to be vulnerable as well. And men struggle in this particular area because we've been so conditioned to stuff our feelings. This is one of the reasons why the term emotionally unavailable is thrown around all the time. But it takes time to build trust, and it first starts with that phase of familiarity, doing things together, building the roots. And I talk about the roots in a much greater context in my private coaching program. But when you develop the roots that to sustain a relationship, you're going to go to that third phase of commitment. And I want to lean into commitment in a different way today, because Ultimately, when you've made that full commitment, I'm here, you matter, we are important, I've got your back, I'm not going anywhere, I only want you. That's really building the roots to commitment. So Dr. John Gottman talks about these three phases, and he talks about first in the development of a relationship, we start off focusing on our own needs. Is my needs getting met? In fact, this is the struggle with a lot of relationships because both men and women are hyper focused on their own needs being met and not reaching that second stage of going, can I meet my partner's needs? Can I meet my partner's needs? So let me give you an example of that. So let's say, are you familiar with the 5 love languages? I talk about it all the time, but if you're not familiar, go Google it. But the 5 love languages are words of affirmation, quality time, physical touch, acts of service, and gifts. So let's say the man you're dating is an acts of service person and you're a words person. And you've done the test online, okay? In fact, I highly recommend in the early stages of dating is to go online, do the 5 love languages test. But let's say, for example, your words and he's acts of service. Well, when you're with a person that's actually leaning into deeper commitment, they go, wow, this is your love language. I want to meet that need. So first, it's, I want you to meet my need, okay? I want you to meet my need of acts of service. But I know your need is words, so I'm going to meet that need. That's going to the second step of one of the roots that build commitment, is I'm going to meet your need. And then the third and final is your needs become my needs. In other words, your needs of words actually becomes my needs as well. That's the real deeper root to love and full commitment, when you actually make your partner's needs your own needs. I'll give you an example. You like to go to the opera, but your partner doesn't. But they know how important it is for you to go to the opera. By the way, I don't know anybody who goes to the opera, but I'm trying to think of something like so obscure. But you love the opera, your partner could care less, but they go, you know what? It's important to you. I want to meet that need for you, and I'm going to enjoy it because it's important to you. Now, let me just say this. You don't have to be attached to the hip on everything, okay? This isn't about every single need is being met by your partner, but those important ones are really leaning into the deeper levels of commitment. So men and women need these 3 things together. And one of the stumbling blocks to these things is the fact that the vast majority of the population gets stuck in stage 1. They're either in lust mode or they're in my needs being met mode. That's where the vast majority of the population, I know ladies, you tend to think you're in all 3, but I can tell you as a man single looking for love as well, I can see women are caught up in stage 1 mostly and don't ever lean into stage 2, even in the early stages of dating. So it's not a one-way street here. It is both genders that do this. The reason why people get stuck is because they most likely haven't healed their childhood wounds and traumas or their adult traumas, and they're reliving patterns over and over and again. This is one of the reasons why I'm a big proponent of personal development, self-help, and spiritual work. In fact, if I haven't talked about this book before, I want to definitely have you check out The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer, The Untethered Soul, because this book leans into how to heal from the inside out so you can be that person that can actually go, I want to not only give my partner their needs, but their needs become my own. And by doing the inner work, and certainly my book, What the Heck is Self-Love Anyway, this is a must buy. I'm sorry. This is the beginning stage. Every guy you date should be reading my book. Probably won't like it, but I think he should be doing it anyway. Because this is how we lean into a fully committed relationship. This is how we lean into it, by recognizing the mechanics of a relationship. This is a demonstration. When I talk about the mechanics of a relationship, this is a demonstration to understand these stages. And the vast majority of people are unaware. So take this video and go, this is part of the road, or the roadmap to creating it. I'm a big proponent. If you want to have a juicy, delicious relationship, then you check in with each other on a regular basis and say, what do we need to do to make this relationship work? Because as I say repeatedly, ladies, if you want to let a penis into a vagina on a regular basis, then the work should be, it's not the work of liking each other. The work is, are you preparing to be in a good, healthy relationship? And that is my invitation for you. Hope you found value in this video. Now, if you did and you would like to, as I said before, schedule a call with me, check out the link below. I'm here to help. I'm here to teach you those deeper roots that help you sustain a healthy, happy relationship. And I'm honored to be your coach. Oh, by the way, post a comment, ask a question, anything. I read them all, so please go for it. All right. We're going to wrap up this video as I always do. I'm going to give myself a big, gigantic hug of self-love, and I'm going to invite you to give yourself a big, gigantic hug of self-love, and then find someone else and give them a big hug of love, because we all need hugs. We all need love, because love is the antidote to all our antidote to inner suffering, but it's our antidote to peace. All right, going to run. Take care. Have a great day.